Meanwhile, back to the upside we go after going out on the lows into New Year's. Back to 516, 515 here for the Qs, up better part of full percent. Looking pretty good. Lots of little tiny high flyers to talk about this morning. There's a whole bunch of individual movers we'll get to here this morning. That's how the overall market is setting up. We're gapping up. As I said, that big, ugly, red daily candle to end off 2024. Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you.
Likewise as well. Welcome back. Happy you're back.
You.
I hope you had a fantastic vacation. Probably much needed.
Yes, it was very relaxing, very quiet, but much needed. So good to be back.
Lots to talk about today, Brendo, as you probably already know. Tesla deliveries in focus today. Hopefully we get them today. No guarantee, but if you look at the past, usually we get them on a Monday. A Bitcoin back above 95,000. We'll keep an eye on that. And then the Catman was tweeting again. He's sending Unity up about 17% here. Lots of speculation that he's referring to Unity in his tweet. Apple also in focus, Brendo, as they're cutting the price of their iPhones in China, and Nvidia yet again making it on Bank of America's top picks ahead of CES for 2025.
Yeah, and it's all things quantum, and
of course
more quantum again. Read a lot of notes this morning on that. That's Tesla right now on the daily chart. So we are gapping up here a little tiny bit back to 409, 410 area. But yeah, the pullback continues here for Tesla after this cybertruck explosion as well. So we'll keep an eye out for deliveries. We'll keep an eye out on any further headlines from that. But yeah, there's a nice gap for the overall market, guys, to kick things off in 2025. Good morning.
I'm not muted.
Welcome to 2025, everybody. As we're being told, we already had our...
I'm being set up.
Your microphone's muted, you're not muted, like, I don't know.
It's already happening.
Made me check, but no, we're locked and loaded, ready to go. We're Happy New Year, everybody. That should be an exciting one. Must be nice to be able to tweet something and have the stock go up 17%.
Yeah.
And it's not even clear what you meant by it, although I think everybody by now knows the old Unity, and that's the deal. Roaring Kitty is what it is, but here's the one. I'm going to get this out of the way, and I don't know how many times we'll say it. When he tweeted and it went up last time, it was at $26. It just broke $26 right now. So just remember, the last time he tweeted, it went $3 up for the next couple of days and then lost $7 from the highs. So to each their own. Certainly it's going to be on watch. We got to watch it. Rigetti's in play. That's back to the upside 8%. Crypto had a fantastic run yesterday. So I think you got to look at some of those names. I love the fact that we're starting this day off with NASDAQ 1%, ES looking pretty strong as well, because really the last couple of days to end the year, they weren't great for the overall market. It was great to trade because it gave you volatility, but we didn't really end the year off with a bang. So let's start this one off in another fashion, as I see you are starting it off supporting your Packers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wearing this a little bit now. When we clinch the playoffs, we'll see. Now it's just a matter of who we play. Should be. I just hope we don't run into Minnesota, Detroit first round.
That'd be ugly. It'll be good for the fans.
Okay, so I just find it's really. I was watching news last night. It was on X and all this kind of stuff. And these guys try to blow up the Tesla Cybertruck and try to make like a statement that they're blowing up a Cybertruck at Trump Tower. And I don't know what they're trying to prove, but all it wound up being was an advertisement for the Cybertruck. Like, they load these explosives in the Cybertruck, and the thing just looks like it had a car wash. Like, it doesn't even look like anything happened to the Cybertruck at all. So, like, I think it was, like, a better advertisement than, like, the day they brought the Cybertruck out. So, I mean, and then now it's also qualified. I'm going to have it on the sticky note. It's on there. It's not going to be the best idea, but... Anyways, dips down into and I don't know if that's all. I don't know if it's all been proven or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure there was a bomb in the Cybertruck.
Clearly an intention.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to I'm just saying. Cybertruck, Trump Tower, we know the sort of the connection there. But anyways, down to 401, 402 here. I think that there's something there. So we'll see if we can get any sort of a dip into there. You know, it was cruising here up to 410, 411. You know, now you're back into that 409, trying to break through the 200 period. We generally don't like to see Tesla breaking through 200 period moving averages, but that could be what it is right there. There's the hold. We'll see about a dip buy opportunity. I'd like to see that happen when the market opened, not an hour before the market. So yeah, I think if the market gives something up here to begin the year, which I could see happen. We're already up 1%. If the NASDAQ fails or tries to get into VWAP, this probably does get into this 402, 403 area where I think it's a huge buy. So yeah, I really want to get behind some Tesla today. I think it's going to be a good trade. So that's what I'm doing. So we'll figure it out. But that's Tesla. And, you know, obviously, you know, thoughts and prayers for New Orleans as well.
Yeah,
you know, we had a sad situation there, as you know, it doesn't seem to be getting any better anywhere. So hopefully it does soon. But anyways, no positions early here to start the new year. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know. There was anything. I was watching that Oregon game. They were getting killed by Ohio State.
Goodness.
What happened there? I thought that was 2 versus 1 there.
Well, I think, look, let's just say that the college playoff, there's got some things to work through.
Yeah,
because
it's not perfect.
all of the, like when they expanded it, the questionable teams, like really only ASU, all the other ones did really, really poorly. So I think the power teams did really well. Unfortunately, it is what it, but that's what makes it fun in college sports. It's the fact that almost anything can happen.
Yeah. They're just
Boise
kids,
State didn't look very good.
They're just rich kids
either.
these days. Those.
What are you going to be able to do? But at the end of the day, the markets are going to provide us with opportunities here today. I do think we didn't really go over the future, and it's worth noting. Like I don't want to say like it's an inside kind of move, but we are moving right back into this 21.5 level. I know Sharif will go over these levels as well, but this is where everything sort of lost it on the final trading day of the year. Like we couldn't really break past 21.5, and that was 2 days in a row you couldn't get past it over here on the NASDAQ. So it's definitely worth watching. A few names are going to be at very key levels that we'll look at. Apple, the 250 level should be good. I'm curious to see how many days it takes for them to get to the 4 trillion mark, because I feel like you can get there before the inauguration, and the number is 264.63 on Apple. So $14 and change away, 264. Not going to happen today, but the question is, can you get there before the inauguration? I think a couple of weeks should be good for Apple to be able to get to that high. To the desk.
A few other things to consider here this morning. SoFi downside 1.3% right now on a downgrade. Really the only significant analyst reaction or stock actually moving because of an analyst move this morning. As the guys were mentioning, an entire 68.50 discount for iPhone sales over in China. So Apple's kind of struggling back towards the lows of where we went out going into the end of the year. You and I were just talking about not necessarily Tesla, but I mean XAI. There's so much to talk about when it comes to Elon specifically, what's going on with Trump coming in a couple of weeks now, and this stock and what could potentially happen going into the new year. Some of the technology on the large language model side is just continuing to impress with Google, Willow's chip, and now Elon with all kinds of plans as well.
Yeah, he continues to shock us. He always going back to first principles, thinking of things anew. And what I think Brenda was referring to is XAI's big achievement of stringing 100,000 H100s together. I believe they're not Tennessee data center. I'm not sure, somewhere in the South, in the Midwest there. And now that's not the only thing he wants to do. He wants to string 1 million of these together. So he wants to put the biggest supercomputer ever put together. And we'll have to wait and see how he all does that. But what the technological challenge that was holding him back was the networking side of things. He seems to have figured that out, so we'll keep an eye out on that. But I reported on this last week, Brendo. We're expecting the Juniper, the refresh of the Model Y, widely seen driving around in Texas, seen driving around in California. So you kind of expect deliveries possibly to start being in Q1 or Q2 of this year, which could help boost sales, right?
Yeah.
The Model Y, we're going on 5 years now of an older redesign, so definitely can move the needle.
Something else to look forward to. And I mean, in the past, he's typically hasn't been overly forecastable, I guess if that's even a word, when it comes to the release of a new model. With the Model 3, it was kind of, we're expecting it here and then there, and then the date just kept kind of ping-ponging all over the place. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that to look forward to as well. Not all rosy so far this morning. Chinese ADRs downside. Here's BABA right now, 0.8% to the red side. There was some manufacturing data that came out overnight over in China that missed expectations, a little bit disappointing. So Chinese markets were all lower to start off 2025. US markets not following suit here, but ADR is under a little bit of pressure here so far, guys.
What up? We got Randy in the house.
What's up, Randy?
Today he brought us, I guess, like tangerines or whatever, because there was only 2 bananas, and they're highly suspect bananas too. Like you can't see. There's like a lot of green on these still.
Oh, okay.
So I appreciate the coffee. We got delivery numbers coming out. Yes. We gonna hit 500,000? That's like if it's not that, that's not good enough.
Thanks. Yo.
Mike.
I think so, but I'm holding a little reservation there.
Where's the bull? I want the bull case, man. Give us that bull case. Because you know what? And by the way, do you see what happened to Rivian?
Yes.
Rivian had quite possibly, it was like the last trading day of the year was nasty for Rivian because in the morning it was one of the strongest stocks in the market and it sold everything and then some. And Rivian's done this, it's now like 3 times off of this level at $10.
We get a pullback and there's underlying things going on here, but this is a time play. That's all it is.
Yeah, you got to be patient.
You got to be patient, and you said it. We've had this discussion before. Lots of good things in the works. Are they here yet? No.
Well, it's always about what your time frame is.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, there's lots of good things in the works. It's a wait and see sort of play right now. There's going to be some pullbacks and bounces and little news items that we can trade. This is what it is.
Well, I certainly hope it holds the $10 level again on Rivian. We hope those delivery numbers do give us the 500,000. And we got deliveries from the Chinese names. And I think it's interesting because there was a time when these would be whenever the start of the month would come, these would be the flavor. Like you'd look and be like NIO and XPeng trading. This is NIO. Oh, look at that, 1.6% and a barcode this morning. Absolutely nothing happening on it. You've got XPeng is flat, more or less on the day. It's down a little bit, but only a couple of percentage points. And then Cherie's favorite. Well, it's probably not his favorite anymore. Li Auto as well. Basically flat. So these names they're just not what they used to be in terms of volatility. You know, and obviously that's why we trade Tesla every single day. But I cannot get over, I know we were short Rivian on Friday, but not until it had already busted VWAP. I think it's not a good sign when you revert a move like that and end up going into the red. So it'll be a pretty key day for Rivian. If it can't get back above 14 or even maybe this 13.8 level where it turned around, yeah, with the market strong, it's interesting to watch something like this. If it can't get back through the afternoon support in a strong market, that wouldn't bode well for it, at least. I was going to say for the rest of the week, but for the first couple of weeks of the year, I guess. As it's already the end of the week. In my head, I'm like, we're going to Michael Moss.
I thought it was Monday again.
Because it feels like a Monday today.
I thought yesterday was Sunday for sure.
Yeah, and we got to remember that it's actually Thursday today. So, next week, I think the next week is going to be key for Rivian here after all the selling we saw on Friday.
It's a pretty good Clementine. All right, so just looking here at the daily chart for NIO, I mean, I think it seems like it's giving you a much clearer signal than you even really need because this bottom here has been 425, 430. There's not many names that go all the way back to beginning of November that are still holding out. I mean, the market's been pretty good. Underneath the 200, underneath the 50-period moving average, it's not like it's a great stock. I mean, it might even be a sell up here through 5, but that's 5. So if you get to 5 right there, that's 10%, right? It's only 450 right now. So you're kind of stuck in a channel. It's not like a great trade or anything like that. I would much rather like this trade through 490. We can get that break right there. Then I think that's a great long. What are we at right now? 443. Yeah. All right, so you're kind of in the middle, but I think NEO is interesting. You know, you get, let's wake it up. That's a good one there, Fabian, because I think if we can get down into 430 again here, that's worth picking it up and then, you know, trying to see if it can hold 420s or give yourself a very, very tight stop right there. I actually bought some crypto last night. I bought some Dogecoin and some more Cardano. So we'll talk about some crypto as we go here with Bitcoin 96. Trying to pressure that 97. We'll go over the charts as well. And then Ethereum 3,400 looking like it wants to hold that 33-ish spot there. So I think crypto's moving pretty well today. The NASDAQ now trying to bounce off view up. We said that we could possibly see that level, so we did see it. And then we mentioned that if the futures get down there, how low will how low will Tesla go? Well, it bounced off the 200. And we had said that we liked the 200, but too early. So Tesla looks like it wants to hold as well. So it should be a very, very good morning. Do we have a case of the Mondays? I'm going to say yes, because I love Mondays because the market's open. So every day is a good day. But shout out to Miss Yellow Dot and John and everybody there in the chat. Remember, if you want to be part of our community, you can easily join the chat. You just got to hit the subscribe button. So hit the like and the subscribe button right on here as we go 41. Oh, this hasn't even loaded yet. So I don't want to push it or else I'll get that ad. But go over there, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let us know if you're liking the content. So far, 4,000 of you. So get that like button going back over the desk.
A couple of interesting notes here. One, Sharif and I were just talking about on ETFs, specifically ETFs for 2024, 1.1 trillion in inflows in 2024 across ETFs in general, back to basically highs. 2025, there was a couple of notes. One was from Bloomberg this morning, kind of suggesting that 2025 might be a challenge to even get back to that point. So put a pin in that for a second and go back to the fact that all of the predictions on the overall market were so wildly incorrect last year. If you go back to the end of 2023 and look at what all the analysts were saying that 2024 was going to bring, it was in the area of basically flat to 5, 6, 7, 8, kind of 9%, somewhere in that window. Obviously, we end up with 30+% on the NASDAQ, 20+% on the S&P. So making a roundabout point, but ETFs itself might struggle to get back to that 1.1 trillion in inflows. A lot of that actually came from the introduction of the Bitcoin ETFs. A lot more interest being shown to Bitcoin ETFs, but I thought that was a huge number, 1.1 trillion.
Monstrous. We always report on the inflows and the outflows for these spot Bitcoin ETFs. Look, to me, it made a whole lot of sense. You get the introduction of the spot ETFs for an asset that a lot of people wanted for a long time. Bitcoin is what I'm talking about. But you also have the nascent industries of nuclear, like the new type of nuclear, small modular reactors. You're getting ETFs for those as well. Quantum, if you don't know which company to invest in directly, you can throw your hat or your money into an ETF for that. If you don't want to pick winners, if you don't want to go through the risk of picking winners out of those. And obviously the market ETFs, back-to-back years, 23, 24, the best two back-to-back years since 97 and 98. So it made sense that you had net inflows into these ETFs, Brenda. We'll have to wait and see whether we continue with that trend in 25.
Quick update on the end of the year here as well. Just reading this note from Benzinga this morning, suggesting that any year historically, any year that's ended with 4 consecutive losing days going into New Year's Eve, as we did last year, typically starts, there's a very high percent, typically starts with consecutive, at least 2 positive days in a row. So we are seeing the market, kind of showing its hand here in that favor this morning, up 1%. But it was interesting to note, going back to 1997, 1998, any year that has ended with at least 4 consecutive red days in a row typically starts with at least back-to-back green days.
And Michael Noss, he didn't make this specific point, but he was giving us that seasonality, the look of what kind of to expect. We'll have to wait to see. It's always as if how does the first 5 days, the first 5 days of January, as January goes? Okay, so as January goes, the rest of the year goes. It's all kind of interrelated. Obviously, we're at the beginning stages of it now. I'm excited to see whether we catch a bid and continue with the this Trump trade, because we didn't really get a Santa Claus rally. It was kind of like
Yeah,
before
it was muted.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It was kind of muted.
Yeah.
People probably tax loss harvesting there.
I mean, we'll see how this goes. And the other thing to consider is it's Thursday, which is kind of weird.
So weird.
So a lot of people are probably going to be off until Monday, but we'll see how volume is today.
Yeah, it is a weirder one. Like I'm trying to think back in my mind
weird.
when New Year's was in the right in the middle of the week, and how that might have an effect on things, because it does feel a little bit different. But let's be real. Like I would venture to say that most years, the first couple of days of the year are good. But it's kind of worth pointing out. This is the cues right here, but just go back to 2024. So that's the second. So there's the 28th, 29th. There's a couple of red days. The weekend. Second was down. The third was down. The fourth was down. And then on January 5th, that was the low point of the year. And that was the first green day. So you did have multiple red days in a row. It wasn't the 5 that I think Michael was saying statistically is significant, but you sold for a few days and then we rallied. What I think is interesting here, at least to start the year off, you're starting it off with the cues bouncing off the 50-period moving average. I mean, if you don't like that for support, an instantaneous support level, even if for some reason we were to reverse today, which I'm kind of thinking is unlikely. You've got that 50 period, which has been a good bounce spot for the NASDAQ. So I think obviously these seasonality things matter, but for the most part, it would have been if you sustained selling for multiple days. And it looks like we're going to start in the other direction. It is what it is. I mean, obviously a lot can happen between now and the end of the end of the day. But I like that 50 period that we've seen on the futures. I like the fact that we bounced off of it despite the weakness to end the week. Or sorry, keep saying to end the week. To end the year, in the middle of the week here, I think your all systems go off these support levels in any stock. Like NVIDIA's got a double bottom at 135 that I like that corresponds with that support there on the Qs. I think that's what we want to look forward to. As far as I'm concerned, in a bull market, you default to what has been happening before. And we like to join strength in this market.
It's Roblox. Okay, Roblox not doing much. Yeah, I think, an ETF that I think is pretty interesting right here, too, is going to be the SMH. It hasn't done anything. This is the Semiconductors Index. This is from August. August is right here. Like, so you're back. We looked at NEO. We looked at other names like that haven't really done anything. I mean, this is, because AMD's been so bad, Micron's been so bad, Intel, like there's all these names that haven't been that good. And then there's been the Marvells, the Broadcoms, the NVIDIAs of the group. And there's going to be opportunities here. So you talked about all the inflows going into ETFs. I think it's just smart. It's been proven that you can pick stocks for fun. That's great. But at the end of the day, very, very hard to beat indexing. And when you're talking about that, it is more about the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So you can sprinkle some money in and around some of these other better known ETFs. We do have, this is going to be, XBI is going to be an Amex stock. So hold on a second. I just want to get you guys XBI because this is a biotech one that's been getting hit pretty good to the downside here. But, there's going to always be buyouts. There's going to be, we talked about with the new administration there, hopefully helping some mergers and acquisitions potentially go through. The rate environment is interesting that we're in right now because we are going to get a hold in January, but then the rate cut cycle should start back up again as we'll wait to get more data dependent and how that all is. But you're into a nice little level here where I think buying some biotech. There's also IBB is another name that you could pick up down here as well as we wait for more AI to hit the space. I think that will be the thing for this, more ease to test, hopefully bringing down some of the costs of getting to that stage 3 or whatever, trial successes they need. XBI actually up 1% here today. I didn't even realize that until we just called it up. So, all right, good with the market. If we're ready, are we going to Adara yet, Fabian? Okay, all right, then it's Adara at the screen.
It's actually a very action-packed upgrades and downgrades list, even though it is right after the holiday and actually holiday shortened week, first day of the year. We're going to start with Cloudflare, up about 6% here with an upgrade from Goldman Sachs and a $140 price target. Evergy here getting upgraded by Ladenburg Thalmann. Topgolf, Callaway, which this is a name that can certainly move. Keep an eye on this one. Getting upgrade today from Jefferies Financial, up about 7.5%. CBRE here with an upgrade from Jefferies as well. Then on the downgrade side of things, starting out with Mag 7 name Alphabet, up on the day but downgraded here by JMP Securities. certainly need to keep an eye out here for 2025 as it's now entered the quantum space as well. L3 Harris, your Palantir partner, getting a downgrade from Raymond James, but also up on the day so far. Lockheed Martin with a downgrade from Deutsche Bank, and Biogen getting downgraded here by Piper Sandler. Quite the list, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, JMP Securities with the downgrade on Alphabet. Yeah.
I thought Alphabet was going up though.
JMP Securities, every time I hear that particular analyst, it just makes me think of, because obviously JMP, JPM, I think of Boiler Room.
Oh, okay.
Because it's, was JT Marlin or?
Marlin.
Yeah.
JT Marlin.
JT Marlin.
Not JP, yeah, JT.
And look,
I have to rewatch that.
more power to them. I haven't seen Boiler Room in, I got to rewatch it. It's probably at least 15.
It was like a DVD that I kept. Like, I don't even have a DVD player. I don't even know how I can play DVDs. Like, our PS4 is broken.
Oh, we have
like,
a
I don't
Blu-ray.
even know how I'd... Or maybe it was a Blu-ray. Maybe it was a Blu-ray. Yeah, one of the last. But I still can't play a Blu-ray. I don't have anything that would play a Blu-ray. Nothing. I don't have anything. Switch doesn't play it. Like I said, broken PS4.
Yeah, we have an old.
I might have an old Wii somewhere. Does Wii play Blu-ray?
You would
It
have
might not even
something.
play.
To us, we just
No, I
never
don't
threw it out. I own way too many old ones.
we probably have an
to
old
have not
Blu-ray
to have not like kept around an old player just in
I want a PS5. Anyone want to send over a PS5?
Why not?
If you're trying to get rid of a PS5, let me
Millionaire
know,
seems to say.
and we can organize something. You know, if you get some Venmos going on here, you send it over here. I probably do have an old Blu-ray player somewhere. You can probably pick that up for 20 bucks.
Dig it up from the attic. Man. Why is it a trap?
Have you seen Boiler Room, Fabian? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
of course
good,
I
right?
haven't seen
Yeah.
it. One of the names on that upgrade downgrade list that I think it's starting to get a little more interesting, sort of waiting for it to get to this 200 period on the weekly, that's Lockheed. So we know that there's a decent chance that if any of the goals for DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, if they're going to be able to do big cuts and if they're going to get that meet their targets, they got to cut defense spending. There's just simply no question about it. And he's been under pressure since the election, pretty much following through. And I think it's getting real close to the 200 on the weekly. This is where I'm looking at a Lockheed. Every single time it's gone down here in the weekly, it's been a very, very good buying opportunity. So I think that one's starting to get close. And then the downgrade on Alphabet, it's just diddling in the middle. I think if you're looking at Mag 7, I like, obviously Tesla's in play, deliveries later, Nvidia's Nvidia, Google diddling in the middle. I just feel like it can be an over-under at this prior close 190.60, but if you're looking for weakness in a Mag 7 name, well, Apple just went red. Now down 0.5%. Like, it just dropped $1 here through 250 on essentially no news that I really saw. There was a seller that's still on the book here that dragged it down a little bit. Here they are. On the NASDAQ for about 100,000 shares. It dragged it down. Now sitting there at 249.33. So it could just be, it's the pre-market and there's a seller that followed it down a little bit. So, and now holding it under the prior low. But we'll have to see this one at the open. There wasn't a headline or anything, but worth noting, with all this green that we see across the board, forget about the downgrade on Google, it's Apple that suddenly looks a little bit weak out of the group.
It's funny because we went to talk about XBI and I didn't even know that we were going to, that Biogen was anywhere on there. You see there again with I think it was on the downgrade side, but Biogen really been hit over the last little while. This stock down over 39% year to date, well, last year. And there it was, 269 down to 150 right here as they keep on finding increased pressures. Their Alzheimer's drug, not as successful. Eli Lilly stepping into this space. Multiple sclerosis as well, declining sales on their spinal drug there. It's been bad for Biogen. It looks like it's gonna continue to get a little worse. Nice little uptick though in the last little while. Look to see if you can get long. This is why I'm in. I like the XBI a little bit better. Biogen is a piece of that, and you can see what this downside has been happening. But again, if you could break above this 164, not bad. These kind of names, though, are not great to look at technically. You have to find reasons why, because, and if there's any drug trials coming through or any new developments in the name. But right now, Biogen continues to be bad news bears there. And that goes again with the IBB. We talked about that as well. So I again, really like this space as opposed to, we looked at XLV, some of the healthcare stuff as well. That's going to be a little different here. There it is right there, the healthcare index. We did have, Adira was mentioning there, it's been about a month since the United Healthcare situation. And then look at XLV has been really, hit to the bottom as well. So as the healthcare index just continues to get beat up. So this has not been the greatest time for the space, that's for sure. And with the new, where did my chart go? With the new administration coming in, I don't know if it's going to get better or worse. We have RFK coming through, going to be talking about, the difference there. He wants to look at obesity and the changing the food supply and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how this all ties together. But for right now, the space seems to be a little bit in trouble.
Everything we need to know here, as always, we'll kick things off with a look at the overall market.
59.36, guys. That's where we closed out on Tuesday on the ES March contract. We're well above that level, already knocking on the door of 6,000 points. So here's the deal. We're going to use 6,000 as a resistance. If we continue to be at the current level we're at right now, 59.50 as support.
All right, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab the absolutely free watch list. Comes every single day right to your inbox. All you need is your email address. Hit the link in the description, top link. Just go down right now. It's the very, very first link. It'll take you there. You just sign up with your email address. We are getting a bit of a move here downside right now. Tesla just went green to red in a hurry here. Just keeping my eye out for deliveries possibly coming through here because it looks like we are getting the move that would typically accompany. There they are. 495,570. Versus 512,277 estimated. Again, Tesla Q4 deliveries 495,570 versus 512,277 expected. So, better part of 20,000, I guess, to the downside there. Just sliced through 400 and continuing to go here now 1%.
Yeah, it's a major miss, Brendo. That's a major, major miss. Now this is going to actually have them down on 2024, delivering less vehicles than they did in 2023. In the third quarter, of 2024, they delivered 462,000 vehicles, which was a 6% year-over-year increase. Analyst, as Brendo was talking about, expecting 510,000 vehicles, short of the 515 that Tesla had guided, but still would have been a record. Their previous record was 484, so beating that for Q4 of 2023. But look, the market already letting you know exactly how it feels. Down into 390, Brendo, off that 411 top we went.
Yeah, there goes that gap we were talking about earlier, guys. Downside, more to come possibly here even.
When Randy's right,
Randy's
like you got to be like Randy said. It was like, oh, give us something bullish, and Randy was not bullish. He was very tepid on this, and he's our automotive guy. So 495 instead of 500. There was a breakdown at 400. I canceled the order already. I did try to get a break, but you had no chance. You had absolutely no chance to get the 400 break when the news hit.
We just punched short
in terms
now,
this is insane. Like if you look at levels, I feel like long term we're probably headed back into that 50 period and that 360 breakout level. You could see this is one of those days that Tesla can do double digits. There's no question about it. So if we do see that kind of a move, that would put us down around that 360 level for a bit of support that we do see. I want to see if we can't get the first available push up, let it settle down. Liquidity is non-existent right now.
Yeah, we got hit there. We tried to, there's a fail on there. We tried to go long there at 400, and that did not work. And then we just flipped it over a little bit. So we're doing fine now. We're $3 into the money. But yeah, a little bit degenerate there. As I was like the same way. I was like, oh my God, this is like come right into our levels. So let's scratch the itch right now. 383.50. Get some more out if we do break through this 385. Now $5 in the money. But at the end of the day, we already went short. Tried the long there, 400. Tried it again. We were able to get something out. But then there's the break through 390. And I was like, okay, we got to get out in there. Like we're sitting right here there it is. 383.50, now $6 in the money to the downside there, but it's just a back and forth trade on Tesla. We'll be net negative, but yeah, mission passed on going short, so thank you for that. But yeah, the long was not a good mission there, but right into 400, and we were watching it. So yeah, not good. I don't even have it on my Benzinga, so I'm going to throw it back over to the desk to maybe get some more light on this.
They don't have it on Benzinga.
A bit of a breakdown here. Model Y, Model 3 and Model Y, 436,718 produced. Deliveries were 471,930. That's up 5% only. Other models, 22,727. So the S Plaid, The cybertruck, I guess, is included in this. 23,640 versus 22,727. So again, a little bit to the upside. Again, that's Q4 specifically. Overall, they produced approximately 459,000 vehicles, delivered just over 495,000 vehicles. So that's a bit of a gap as well. 459 to 495 produced versus delivered.
Obviously, the benefit of a hindsight always helps you see different things, but I want to let you guys know that people were talking on X that certain Model 3 and Model Y categories in the United States were being offered with free full self-driving. And so if you actually went through the process of buying the car and you went to the checkout, it was included there. So kind of, you know, looking at it in hindsight now, maybe he was offering that, or Tesla was offering that to move the needle on deliveries because they kind of knew that they were going to miss, guys. To build on Brendo's point, when Q4, the Model 3 and Model Y production, Fabian, the amount of cars that they actually produced, 436,000. They delivered 471,000, which is interesting, meaning that they were holding more inventory from the previous quarter that they had to offload. Obviously, that's not something they want to do. Brendan.
You were making the point of essentially this. Do you have the 2023 number there by chance?
I do. I have it right here.
Here's 2024, first of all. So 1.7 million or 1.77 million totally produced, 1.789 deliveries, and then that's versus 2023, as you were saying, a little bit lower.
Yeah, 2023, excuse me, we had 1.8 million total deliveries. That's going to be the same thing for 2024, if not a little bit less. So that's not what you want to see year-over-year flat numbers like that. We'll have to see if some of the new models, possibly the Juniper, as well as the codename Model Q, that $30,000-ish entry-level sedan helps move the needle in 25.
The bounce is in, apparently, though, here right now, guys.
The bounce is in. I got 90s to 95s right now. And if it breaks 95, I'm jumping out of this bad boy. If you look at the 50, I just moved to a 1-minute chart. I usually use a 3, but it's moving so much. It's absolutely wild. If you look at the daily chart, the last little level that we have in and around here, like outside of the lows is 401, and then you've got this 390 level. So it's a bit of a pivot spot, like in between the two joints. I feel like a miss like this, I know the dip buying has definitely come in, but I'm still going to lean looking for the shorts if we're underneath the 400 level. So I have 90s right now. I don't want to be adding to this until I get some kind of a red candle because I'd like to see the curl. Like I just took it at the 90 level. I want to see it put in a little bit of a curl if it can do that. Because this is a move where if Tesla ends up red today or holding red today, then I'd be surprised if it didn't see the 370s, maybe not necessarily that 360 level, but it was a pretty big miss across the board there for Tesla. Yeah, so obviously we're going to see, but there's the first red candle of the day, not of the day, the first red candle since the bounce. So it looks like it's given us some confirmation that certainly 95 is the level. If it breaks that out, I think we're probably headed to 400. But with that, I'll try to get a little more here underneath 94 level. In terms of sympathy plays, this is probably not the day that I'm going to care too much about Rivian. So I'm probably going to stay away from that one, even though I think it's probably a sell. I think Tesla's the one that's going to give you the real juice today.
Yeah, it looks like it. We're back in the short here at 394. I don't know. We've been going back and forth on this one for sure. So we'll have to give it. There it is. Okay, I just took out 20% for $2. I am bidding also 390 just to see if there's something there. And then after that, let's wait and hold on Tesla right now. Production. So just in case you guys are a little bit late with us there, 459 deliveries versus 495. So that's pretty bad. That's a pretty big miss there for Tesla. So now we'll wait to see. And we had noted that we wanted to mark that down as a delivery expectation. It's on our watch list there today. Make sure you do scan that QR code right there because we do have a special offer. Wrap up 2024 with a massive savings from Trade Ideas right now, exclusive to Trader TV. Viewers get 25% off any subscription with code TraderTV25 or go big. This is a special one with 30% off the annual premium using TTV Prem 30, we got a new one. It's right there on the bottom there, TTV Prem 30, if you're going for the annual, both valid through January 3rd. Okay, 2 days. Don't miss out on these New Year's savings. Let's crush the market here and get those charts blasting off. And I don't know what charts are going to tell you Tesla's going to do next, but for right now, VWAP is up at 400. So if you're going to get spicy with it, maybe you wait for that. I'm going to give it just a little bit more than where we're at right now, that 396. We just get a little shorter up near at the top, 394.35 right now, current short position. A little bit of a breakdown here on Tesla would be nice, but looks like they're buying the dips, man, buying the dips. It was down 5. Was it down 5%? I don't know. It was down 3 and a bit for sure. Down over, that was 410 there, all the way down to 3. I can't believe we have a 383 bid take right there. Doesn't matter, but that was a good one for us. Okay, here it comes in right now. Making a little bit back here, Neil, as this is coming back in with a decent average price. And starting now, all right, let's go. Let's get some more out here. We just bid some out here at 492.60s. We're bidding, trying to bid again. It looks like it may want to hold now. $1.70 in the money on some shares now. So here we go. A couple more reloads up at the top here for Tesla. I just think I'm not sure this is like a disaster situation or anything, but at the end of the day, Tesla was performing so well over the last little while. I mean, obviously we've had a dip down, but that move since November here on Tesla has been pretty epic. So, maybe time to slow down just a little bit. Yeah, another out right there, man. There it is, $3. We're starting to take some outs here as we've got shares on. There it is, that we've got some shares on board. Neil, let's break through this 390.
390 goes.
Yeah, let's get this party started right now.
Yeah, if 390 goes again, I think you could be, you're obviously going to be under a bit of threat, but the flat bottom break, if you just look at the range since the top of that 400, it's like an $80 range up top.
Booyah.
So the amount that this can really get going to the downside, I just feel like it could get nasty today on Tesla. So not to take anything away from the long term. I still like the stock. I think it is what it is. You kind of, left brain, right brain here. You want to favor some shorts. I'm at 88.8. Why would you put 88.88? That's such a ridiculous number. I was bidding 388.88. I'm going to get in front of 89 because it looks like it's starting to hold. But yeah, obviously it's not a good day right now for Tesla, but a lot can happen. I would expect you might see an imbalance on Tesla. So in the last 5 minutes before the open, you're going to want to make sure if it comes out a massive buy imbalance, probably want to look to trend or trade a little bit out. I was talking about notes that I make for myself, and one of the things I wanted to pay more attention to is in the final 5 minutes before the open, never take shares running against you. So I'm trying to offer more at 395. But if at 925 to 930, we're screaming to the upside going into the open, then I don't want to take any fills against the grain in that 5 minute window. So that's going to be what I do on Tesla. Still trying to get these 89 bids if we can, and then we'll see how far it can go. I still think this is a situation where off the open, I'm going to want to be ready to make some trades when we get a little bit better liquidity. No questions asked. So Tesla, not looking very good. Chill vibes, yeah, the 52-week high, 488. I mean, you can stick a fork in numbers like that. And I said we don't care too much about the sympathy play, but it is worth noting, Rivian did kind of move down a little bit here. I'd watch out, because if Tesla does bleed and does have a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% type of day to the downside, you're probably going to see some collateral damage in some of the other EV names. But Tesla's the one you want to watch, 5.5 million in volume. If it puts this higher low in, probably don't need too many offers in there. If it puts this higher low in, going to wait for that curl at the 395 zone. As long as it's under 400, then I still believe we're looking shorts on Tesla. But let's go off. We got to finish out the rundown. Tesla's going to be on everyone's minds today, but crypto, a little bit of a pullback as well in Bitcoin.
Ooh. Yeah, a little bit right now. We're still nicely green to the tune of about 2%, but off 92.5, we get back to 96 and change here for Bitcoin itself, equities not bad right now as far as my list anyway, still on the positive side.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on MSTR as well, Brendo. It's up in the pre-market here, about 2.5%, but very volatile last week for MicroStrategies. I just want to share with you guys some analyst predictions about where Bitcoin could be for 2025. We kind of went over this on Tuesday. You have CoinShares here with the most, conservative of price targets, $80,000 to $150,000. But then you have like people like Matrix Point, 160,000, Galaxy Digital at 185, and then Standard Charter with a nice move there, 200,000. So lots of bullish analysts right now on crypto and on Bitcoin specifically into 2025, already up 1 3/4.
Yeah, as we said, a few other ones. Here's Coinbase back downside, 2.5% still on the positive side of things. The mining group, Mara, still 3% to the upside. So green across the board here.
Yeah, there was just a little rollover. I mean, it's nothing too crazy there. It's right into like a prior high at 95.8, but it is pretty distinct because since the start of the year, quite frankly, Bitcoin has been rallying rather nicely, and you are breaking a little bit of a trend. So look, it's pretty simple. I think if we don't get back in this consolidation area in the 96.5 zone to make any kind of a breakout, you could have a little bit of a trend down. And if there is any weakness in Bitcoin, I don't think that bodes well again for MSTR. MSTR has twice dumped off of the 320 level. I don't know that you get a shot at trading off of this level again. So I look at the afternoon resistance of 308 here. Or it wasn't even afternoon, it was the late morning resistance at 308 in the pre-market high. If we don't break away from that zone in Bitcoin and continue this little bit of a pullback, I think MicroStrategy is the one to watch. Shorts in front of that 308. If we break out that top again, I think you got to look over and just trade Bitcoin itself. Like I'd probably go to IBIT if we break out that top and look for shorts in MSTR at the 308.
I was talking about this a little bit. We still got some shares on here for Tesla, so I gotta watch out for that. I might get some more out at 90 right here on Tesla. I'm gonna put a bid there at 90. Cancel my 89s and see if we get a 90. There it is. Okay, good, Phil. Just as we're talking, it just coming back into 90 there. I don't have too many shares, but I have enough. So I'm going to make sure that we get out there on that move back in. I like $4 or $5. All right, so right here, come on, just keep bringing it down. We got at 10% of what we had left, but we still got some left, that's for sure, including 90%. All right, so here we go. Bitcoin, nice little move. I bought yesterday on the dip for Dogecoin in and around 33 cents. So it's not like it's up huge or anything like that, but I don't mind it. I just thought maybe a run into January 20th. Just as a possibility. And then I did buy some Cardano as well, a little bit more there. We were selling near the top, so I feel pretty good about some of the stuff that we've been doing right now on that one. And oh boy, here we go. We are starting to now get a little bit of a flush in on Tesla, which is, flush, I don't know. I'm bidding 306 now, 386. 306 would be something else if we're able to hold on. I don't think that's going to happen. But here we go, right back in. We have a great tick today on the low for Tesla. We have a 384, a 383. I have in the account here today 383.62s. So that's pretty much the low there for the day on Tesla. If we can retest it, then oh boy. But right now, making some money back here on TSLA as we start to fall on that one. This is going to be just a huge story, obviously, as the market continues to hold, but looking like a little lower as maybe some of the enthusiastic buyers have stepped away now and wait to see what does happen here and how this name potentially flushes out. Remember, we still have the imbalances to come through on Tesla, which could be a little slippery slope there to the downside. So TSLA right now, best out there at 390. We'll wait to see what happens here moving forward, but it looks like it's going to be just one of them days for Tesla as we wait patiently to see what the outcome is off the open. I am bidding 386.05 to take about 10. That would be $9. And if we can get that, I'm going to get out of 25% of what we have left, which will be about obviously 20% of our holding in the initial spot because we just got out of 10. So, all right, I don't know. That's going to be a little bit of a cover there, and then hopefully we'll be able to hold the rest all the way down. Was really dangerous getting long early, but the patient game here seems to be working out, and there it goes. So Tesla deliveries right now, the reason for the down
guess who
tick.
super chatted? You know something bearish just happened when we get a super chat from Kyle Bertet. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate you. DXY screaming into 109, strongest dollar since September of 22. So obviously the USD has been doing very well since the election, and that trend is continuing. Shout out to you, Kyle Bertet. Thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate you for sure. But we got to get through this rundown. We only got 10 minutes left, and Tesla wasn't the only thing that just pulled back there. Unity now only up 11%. It was 17 minutes ago.
Struggling with 25 here right now as well. Trying to hold, but doesn't look like it might. If you missed it, Kitty Cat Man, whatever you want to call him, back on Twitter talking about Unity. GME was moving a little bit, I saw as well, but that's a big pullback right now. 26, 27, all the way back to 25 just goes, as I was mentioning.
Yeah, it was like up 17% when I started watching it. Here it is, Fabian. This is the tweet right here with the Chappelle Show Rick James one where he's telling, where it's the Unity episode, so widely speculated. That's what he's referring to there. A lot of mentions on social media, mostly positive in that, kept getting more and more mentions as the time went on. This was posted about 13 hours ago. Just to give you some context here, Unity down 42% in 2024 compared to its rival AppLovin, ticker APP. Brendo up 735% in 2024. So a little bit of a variance.
Yeah, just to give a higher time frame kind of look here. Here's a daily chart for everyone on Unity. We were higher than that, as we were mentioning. We were up to about 26, which is getting into some recent highs anyways. But we've given that back. So back below 25. There's a decent level here, my point. 24.50, 24.75 looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not feeling so great about this one anymore because we're mentioning it was about $26 when you had that initial tweet. It was on the 5th, right? The Time magazine one. So that was right in here. It like triple topped to 28. Well, if you draw a nice little support line in there, that was pretty good. And what just happened? We just failed the breakout at 26 on Unity. Oh, I don't like that at all. So to me, if you can't find buyers back above the 26 level, I'm starting to think this is a fade. We got free locates on Unity. And when we sat down, it was trending into this line. Everything looked good for some long trades. And I'm not necessarily thinking that as much. Unless you can get back above this 26 level. Like, look what happened when it barcoded underneath that previous support line at 26. Yeah, I just feel like this turns into an over-under, and it's decidedly under that 26 level right now on Unity for me. 86.
Yeah, I'm at 80. I'm at this bid right now at 86. I don't want to miss this. I'm at 86.05. Okay, you're starting to bounce. Maybe I might just, you know what? I just punched out of a little bit there at 50. I pulled the rest. So I did have a double bid down here for double the shares. So we just punched some out there at 50. We just took 2 more seconds getting that coffee. I would have saved myself 50 cents there. But okay, now coming back in. Wow. Hoo-wee. Ooh. This is, okay, we're supposed to talk about Unity. Let's just go over to Unity real quick. This is interesting to me, not overly anymore. All right, so Unity right there. What I wrote down was wait for a dip back into $24. That's where the 200 period was. So right now it looks like you're sort of getting that move back in on Unity. So could be something to look at, dip buy into $24, sort of this level there. Where we closed was 22. I mean, that would be, again, you're just buying on tweets and stuff. So to me, up 10% is a little bit too much. We'll have to watch it out, but I do like $24 there right now on Unity. We're almost now $10. It's a fruit salad trade right now on Tesla as we continue to come right back in now. Good trade there. Maybe we do get it. I'm going to put another bid there at 384 now just because we have the ability to do it. So let's do that right now. Put some liquidity back in this market and start bidding it out. Right now, $10, and we're still going down. And we have shares on this one. So heart racing right now. But it's good. It's good. It's been a good little run right now on the stock to come back in. But again, still long. I mean, I still own this stock. I didn't dump any in all this. So this really does suck. But as far as a day trade, hard to top the action here in the pre-market with Tesla. Okay, one more minute now until we get those imbalances.
Get through the last two here. Apple up next. Now downside to the tune of about 0.7. I was trying to hold 250 there, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Chart still looks great. That's still a Unity. But yeah, a little bit of a discount coming through for anyone looking to shop for an iPhone over in China.
And it's not the first they've offered in China as they slip in market share percentage. So they're offering about 500 yuan, which is about $70 give or take. For the more expensive phones, the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max, you'll be able to save a bit more there. But that's not the only one they're offering a discount on. The 16 and 16 Plus, as well as the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 15, eligible for a 400 yuan discount. And here's the deal. I mean, smartphone shipments to mainland China dropped 6% year over year in Q3 of 2024, and their market share fell in China from 16 to 14, largely due to Huawei and their re-emergence after Donald Trump kind of put restrictions on chips.
Yeah, session lows right now for Apple shares, not looking too good. SoFi, not there yet, but still down 1.8%. Next on the list there, it was a downgrade, just heads up on SoFi as well. Nowhere near as much volume or volatility, but just so everyone's caught up on that, there was a downgrade. It's worth noting Tesla also just confirming Wednesday, Jan 29th will be earnings day, guys.
Yeah, there was just a buy and balance on Tesla. So, I mean, I did say if it popped in that last 5 minutes on a buy and balance, you know, we look to not get caught. I still think it's a short, but overall 260,000 buy and balance. Apple, 230,000 sell. Not much, a couple of penny stocks up there. And then Rigetti is a 400,000 buy, so maybe watch out for Rigetti, 18 level big there. I don't like what's going on with Apple. I thought at the beginning of the show was talking about how we'll get a couple of weeks in and then maybe we'll hit that 4 trillion mark, $264.63 for Apple. Instead, this 250 level looks like it's your over-under. I mean, that's everything about this smells like a flat bottom break with support at 246. So I wasn't expecting this to be a thing. I thought we'd be a little more bullish today, but there's your support at 246 on Apple. It looks like we're probably trading right down into it at this particular point. So that's probably the only thing I'll look at unless we get some kind of a press back into 250 where you could maybe fade off of that level. So Apple, not looking great. I'd be a little bit cautious with that story. You might want to look at, not AMD. Well, AMD 124, that's resistance from Friday. ARM, you might want to look at something like an ARM. That could have some weakness on this, although it's holding pretty nicely. If Apple continues to bleed, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a name that could also start to follow suit. But Tesla's going to be on the front of the mind at the open. There's no question about it. I want to get back in. When that imbalance came out, it did an instant mean revert. If we get back anywhere near the 395 at the open, I'm going to look to reshort Tesla.
On my tuna grind for a couple of days.
Okay, so right now I didn't look at Apple, but I do. I mean, all those levels are pretty good. I did look at Rigetti. Rigetti's actually on the sticky note today as well. And just because Neil mentioned there was a little bit of a buy imbalance right there. So I said 1450 dip or the 18 long break there. I don't know if you really need to play where it is right now on our GTI, although now it's trying to fall back in. There's the bid right there, so it does take off from 15. I mean, I guess that bottom was 15.90, but once that imbalance came out, it didn't go up that much. It went up 20 cents. So we'll wait to see if there's some effects there. It looks like more bids than offers here today, although the market does continue its move down. So we'll have to watch out for that. But there is 14 was kind of just a level that I had. What did I write down? I wrote down 1450. So why did I do that? Okay, so it just goes back down into a couple days ago, that bottom 1450. I think you can start the buying at 15, wait for 1450 to go, and then there's 18. 18 looks great. Hopefully we are unable to miss that. Tesla right now firing back a little bit as you guys saw getting out. Neil's out as well. I still have 70% of the position that we put on Actually, we have less than 70% of the position we put on up here. We have 70% of the position that we had left on this move come in. We got some out there at 89.50. You saw me do that. And then 86.25 or something like that as one of our outs. And we're going to wait until VWAP break of 396 is the play that we have for Tesla. So we'll wait to see if that comes in there with only a minute left. I don't think we're going to go back to the desk for SoFi, but it did get downgraded today. So on a name that's been a hot mover, I did get up to 17 and change, I believe, SoFi. Right now, been pulling back for a minute. Some of the financials, 17 basically right there, have been pulling back. You do want to watch out for this level 14.50 coming into play there for SoFi. That is your 50-period moving average. And again, that gives everything back that it did basically since, the inauguration's down there at 13, but all of November and December coming into question right now on SoFi. So it'll be a Tesla kind of day, I think. NVIDIA we didn't even talk about, but that's another one.
Yeah, NVIDIA's got a double bottom at 134. It's nowhere near it right now, so I don't think it's going to be an open trade on NVIDIA. That's probably true for a bunch of the chips. You're probably looking at Tesla, maybe you're looking at Apple. For the first trading day of 2025, let's ring it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go there.
All right. Thanks, Adara, for that. We're going to still watch out for 137 coming through here on NVIDIA. So I'm going to put that. I'm also going to bid a 389.50 on Tesla. Tesla just tried to break below 390 again, sorry. So I think it kind of did. There was a little bit of sloppy play there early. It went down to 388.90s. And now up to 392. So about a $4 range here off the jump for Tesla. There you go. Okay, come back in. Now go. All right, so there it goes. We did get a nice bid there at 389. So that was 389.50. So not a bad fill to start there on Tesla as we just sort of massage some of this trade. Our out is still happening at 396 if that does come through. So watching out for Tesla. And then NVIDIA, I'm taking a 137 break on that one. I did not get over to Intel though yet. I liked a 20 dip buy opportunity. So if that comes in Intel, I'm going to put a bid right now at 20.
Yeah, Unity tried to bounce. It looks like it's starting to fade a little bit here on Unity. I wanted 26 over under, but it's fading at VWAP underneath 25.5. Might have to go over to that one. Tesla does not get back up to 395, just took the 39 level and continuing to absolutely flush. Rigetti is looking very, very weak as well.
Oh, shit.
Right, I'm not going to chase that one. But let me go over to NVIDIA because NVIDIA is trying to break out as we speak. It looks like NVIDIA is going to be the
I put the wrong...
It hasn't broken.
No, it broke. I got 137.01, but I thought I was on Tesla putting an order there, so I did get something out there at 136.90 by accident on NVIDIA. But I have it as breaking, but that doesn't mean that it. Okay, there it goes.
Now it's
all right. So now it breaks, but so I'm getting something out. I'm long at 01s here on it. This is a big, huge trade, so hopefully this can really work out for us on NVIDIA. Yeah, buddy. Right now we have $8 in the money on Tesla, and now 70 cents in the money on big boy here for NVIDIA. All right, when it's your number one trade of the day on the stick, you better be taking some shares. So now let's wait to see what happens. We are clearing some out, though, in the 30s, in the 40s, now in the 50s for NVDA. Go, young man, go. The king is in the building right now with NVIDIA, and there it goes, man. Monster trade alert. I'm not even looking at Tesla, which is $8 in the money right now, but we have a little more profit, actually. I have more profit right now on the NVIDIA trade than I do P&L-wise for Tesla. So I'm going to watch out for NVIDIA right now as we've got shares on board, man.
Yeah, it just tagged 138, so it looks like that one's going to continue to the upside NVIDIA. I've grabbed half out on that break. Where is Tesla? Okay, Tesla's still falling to the downside. Doesn't seem like it wants to. Let me just cancel that offer.
Oh, boy.
I don't think we're going to get a shot at 395 again, and if we do, we got to make sure it curls. So double bottom. Remember, this is when the imbalance came out, was right at about 386, and it caught a double bottom on Tesla, so it's a big decision point. If we break the lows, I don't know if I want to break down trade at a random number, maybe the 85 break. I think 390 is, if 95 was good, then I'm going to look to the 90 if we get any kind of a dip. Unity, I still feel like this is going to end up being a short and a sell the news event here on Unity, but we can't get that VWAP fill. Popped an offer in there and didn't get filled. We'll see if we can't pick something up on the next available pop. If it breaks 26, I don't mind being long in Unity, but I feel like they're giving this one up right quick here. Roaring Kitty can't sustain it, and the market is perilously close to red, believe it or not, on the futures here. The NASDAQ now 0.4 after being 1% up when we started the show.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do a little salute to everybody here for Nvidia because that was a great trade. All right, so we're still in some hits, so we'll have to wait for it. But Tesla, man, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right now, Tesla is $12 in the money. As we say, stick with it, man. Stick with it. Right there, monster trade now for Tesla. Really coming back in. That bottom's already been broken. So now we'll just wait to see what happens around 382. I'm going to put another bid down there. Hopefully we can get going now. Get going. We're $12, $13 in the money. So we're doing pretty fine right there. Nvidia now climbing back upside. We did not reload it though. We have a decent amount of shares. So let's wait to see what winds up happening here with Nvidia. It does touch down almost into that VWAP. So that's a scary sight, right? You don't ever want VWAP to miss out on you. So we'll wait to see if it does hold one more time, 136.50. The market is bleeding back down there. So we did take that advantage. You see, look at that out we just got on Tesla right there. Or sorry, on Nvidia, 137.35. Oh boy. All right, a little bit of a reload, maybe opportunity now to see if we can get something down here for Nvidia. Tesla is really the net is really fine. We have Tesla on board now, but Nvidia is coming back in right now into 136 and change. Watch out to lose 136 might be a problem, but man, that Tesla is now $13, Neil, in the money on Tesla.
Yeah, it just keeps on falling, and we just broke bottoms as well. Nvidia, I still have a third of it left. Obviously, the breakout was pretty good. But as it comes into 136, I don't want it losing that even dollar level. I think I might be taking that break in Tesla after all. But we are now into one new position. That's going to be Unity. It just broke the pre-market lows. Going to work it back into this prior low. It's 24.90 or so. Just going to get my stop order in so we're locked and loaded. I don't want to get caught without a stop when you're trading something like Unity. It is a meme stock. Yeah. You got to respect it as far as I'm concerned. But Tesla is bleeding at this point. 380 breaking imminently. Let's go to
$15.
Oh, sorry about that. Here we are. We're going to take a look here at some of these small caps on the move. AEI all set, up about 135%. No catalyst, but a 3.07 million share float. Market cap around 22 million. Then there's also XPON. This company actually does have a catalyst here and a great little bull flag on the 15-minute chart. This is XPON 360. They announced that they started fulfilling purchase orders for their E360 home energy storage solutions, and they also announced some preliminary revenue for Q4 above expectations. They're seeing between 1.8 million and $2 million versus 1.4 million expected. So great look here, I guess, on the quarter. So quarterly increase expected for XPON with a float of 530,000 shares and a short float of 15%. So very small float and significant short float for XPON. Back to you.
All right. I just said to Sharif, this is what they're here for, man. It is Tesla. This is what we're here for every day. Nvidia just fell off, so that's going to be a negative right there. But we did get out of 75% of that on the break. We'll hold for a little bit more. We initially wrote down 135.50 as a dip buy opportunity there for Nvidia. So that came actually real quick, right now. But oh boy, we'll take some more dip buys in that area of 135.50 for Nvidia, and then get a little bit more out there as it dips right into our level. But it's this name, Neil, that's really the big one today. It's Tesla. Monster trade to the downside there. Now over $20 in the money on this banger. So it's Nvidia 135.85. We just bought a little bit and got some more out up here near 136. So there goes Nvidia.
Yeah, Nvidia lost a bid. We should have taken more. I still had 30% on. It is what it is. But I thought it was a pretty strong stock, and it does lose it pretty decisively. It's still underneath VWAP, but above Friday's resistance in the afternoon, or I keep saying Friday, Tuesdays. So we can still bounce off the pre-market low. It's got a chance, but I don't want to be fighting it the way it's looking right now on Nvidia. Something's going to have to change in terms of the trend. So Tesla, this is the first bounce that it's put in. So when it had the delivery number come out, it bounced about $12 back into 95s. If it does a similar move, that would take it actually very close to VWAP. So if it can do that same move, I'm going to look for a VWAP retrace. Want to stick to Tesla. Obviously, this is the one that's going to move the most, I think, today. No questions about it. Palantir is absolutely dying too, but the NASDAQ just went red. So my guess is if you're looking at a stock, it's probably weak in this particular moment. But the first available pop here in Tesla, I'll look to get back into this one. Want to make some more on Tesla. Don't think you should be done by any stretch of the imagination just yet. Bitcoin holding out pretty well, 96.5. So there's no cratering over there. I think it's worth watching. If the market gets a bounce, noticeable that BTC is actually doing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, looking for a bounce on Tesla. Yeah, Tesla just bounced $9 almost there to the upside. $8 now straight up there for Tesla. But it's NVIDIA. The story is with NVIDIA, really. I mean, that just kept on falling down. So we are now going to get out of NVIDIA and rethink about this, because the market that was very green, we came in very green today, up about one and a bit, only to see this happen right now. Complete destruction early on the NASDAQ. I still want to go long on what I believe to be strong names, but at some point you got to think like, okay, is it worth chasing this all the way? So we're able to make money early on the 137, then lost it when it broke through VWAP, lost it when it broke through 136, retried it right there, was able to get some out for a decent spot. But right now, NVIDIA and the market pulling back pretty decently. That little bottom there, 134 and change, looks like that might be something. But right now, NVIDIA, yeah, making that move back in. And there goes Tesla. Nice little move back up there to the upside, as we only have 20% left. So this was a big fall from grace there all the way to the downside. So we slammed that one. And now we'll wait to see what happens here. Hopefully more downside for Tesla. I mean, I might just hold this one and just ride with it. I mean, we were waiting for that RGTI to finally do something.
Oh, it did something.
Yeah, it went down to 15. I was still waiting for 1450. So that went down to 15 and a quarter there, RGTI.
Yeah, that NVIDIA 134 double bottom. At this point, I think we have a decent chance at it. Last couple of sessions, I mean. So the breakout, again, you can always get more shares out, but that's hindsight being 2020. The next available opportunity is, can it bounce off 134? I am going over to, let me just cancel. No need to have an offer on AMD at 124 because the market's tanking and it's already down at 121. AMD 120. I thought we'd be pop and fade today because the market was strong. Instead, AMD short's going to look a little bit different than shorting 124. It's either a 120 breakdown or we can get some kind of a push back into these pre-market lows to catch a short on AMD. I still believe trend short on this stock until proven otherwise. So Tesla's still on the rebound trail. I have VWAP at about 390 or so. So depending on whatever interval you're looking at, I'm still on a 1 minute chart. I'll probably switch back to a 3 a little bit later on. But I don't know, this one has it at 388. But you're nowhere near it just yet. But that original bottom could be a curl here at 384. Might just start taking some pot shots at it. If we can get a red candle in here, just like we had this turn, that's what we'll look for in Tesla, down 5%. Oof. Big miss on deliveries if you're just tuning in now, significantly under that 500,000 mark, and that's the reason for the drop.
Yeah, not a great